Don't you hate it when somebody prejudge you before experiencing you? Like somebody says to me, oh, I didn't expect you to call. I didn't think you would call. Like, you didn't think I would call? You think I'm what? Because you've dealt with people of my kind in the past who disappointed you, you think I'm not going to call? I don't think it's fair. I think it's absolutely toxic. I hate it. It feels horrible. Being judged for things you didn't do in the past. It doesn't matter whether it's a friendship or a relationship. Somebody expecting you to be negative just because you're looking at your phone and smiling, or you were talking to somebody that just saw you smiling. That's stupid. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for choosing us again. We have things to talk about. Okay, so number one, I see you from all over the place. I greet you, I salute you from South Africa, Uganda, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Ghana, Jamaica, United States of America, and the UK. Thank you very much for being here. YouTube says you guys watch videos, but you don't subscribe. Please, let's subscribe so we can make this big. Yeah, let's make sense about this. All right. So we have a situation here about the alliance of Sahel state. You remember these countries? These are three countries: Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. They have finally come together to create a confederation. So this is very similar to a country. The three countries have come together for the very first time in a discussion, in a meeting, to get things moving. Are we going to clap for them? Congratulations. So this is clearly not just about words and explanations. This is about action. So they had a summit. The summit brought together for the first time president of the Alliance of Sahel States. The organization was founded, obviously, in September 2023, in which they bring together Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger for very good things. So we're going to try to find out very quickly, what are the advantages? What are the gains? Why is this confederation a good thing? But before that, I'm going to give you context. Who are these countries? Who is Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger? And why are they relevant right now? Now, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are ex-French colonies. These are African countries, obviously, where they speak French. But there's a particularity about them. They all have leadership guided by military. Yes. Why? Because all three countries toppled their president. Why did they topple the president? Because all these three countries felt like their presidents were working for interests of Western nations and not that of the people of the country. So that led them to say, you know what? We think, Mr. President, you're not doing your job appropriately. Meanwhile, you're sending so much of our minerals and goods. Our people are suffering. Our people have no hospitals. They have no roads, no decent schools. So we think it's about time you leave. Now, the three countries did not unalive the president. They put them on house arrest, but they took over the power. What is the other particularity? What else do they have in common? The three countries have kicked away France soldiers and French diplomats. Why have they done that? Because French has a very strong influence in those countries. And why did France have an influence? Number one, because France is the colonizer. They controlled the country for many, many years. They gave them independence in the 1960s. And also, they stayed there because after independence, they all signed an agreement saying, we are leaving your country, going back to France. However, our military is remaining in your country. And in most of these countries, French soldiers have been stationed for over 60 years, talking about a liberation and a freedom. Okay, so we're going to find out what is Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger doing together. What are they going to do together? The AES countries, AES is for the Alliance of Sahel States, formed a joint force in March to fight against jihadists who regularly attack their territory. So what does this mean? Now, in those areas of Africa, there's a lot of terrorists. Where do the terrorists come from? Remember, Muammar Gaddafi was a great man for his people. He did so many good things for his country. He elevated agriculture in his country. The country was dry and had no water. He did the big work of irrigation of the world. So he imported water from the sea inside the country to make the country livable, to promote agriculture. This guy, Muammar Gaddafi, you certainly heard about him, and you certainly think he's a dictator because the West have told you so, was not a very likable person to the West. Why? Because he was telling Africans that we are the rich ones, not them. We need to change our money from paper currency to gold currency. And by doing that, the countries with the most gold will be the richest in the world. And the Western nation didn't like that. They had to take him out. Yeah. Western nation cooperated with some people that they called freedom fighters, and these freedom fighters took over the country after Gaddafi was unalive. Most of the freedom fighters are the ones that have become terrorists now. So terrorism was created by them. And years later, they came and offered these African countries, listen, we see you have terrorists in your country. We can help you fight them. Just allow us to come. That's how the French soldiers came into these countries, again, to fight terrorists. Now, after Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger kicked them out, now they have decided to join force, to join military to fight against terrorism. Congratulations to them. They also agreed to put together their resources in sectors considered strategic, such as agriculture, water, energy, and even transportation. Obviously, you can clearly see here that these countries are not playing. Okay, they're going for it. Agriculture, they need to come together, feed their people, water to make sure the people they're good, energy to give electricity, power to their people, and not send it to Europe like Niger used to do in the past, creating electricity for Europeans whilst Nigerians themselves lived in the dark. They've also agreed to promote local languages. They say local languages need to be spoken more in the public and private media. Why? Because when French came into Africa, in most French African countries, people speak French. Unfortunately, the closer your French sounds like that of a French person, the more you are relevant to the society. I'm just being honest with you. So the better you speak like a Frenchman, the more they think you're intelligent. So you could be very, very smart in your home language because it's not French. They don't look at you. It's very sad. You go to some of these countries, you're going to be shocked. So now these people say, you know what? Liberation and freedom comes from the profoundness of the person, the depth of the human being. How about we free ourselves from the slavery of the language? Let's use our own languages for TV. In African French-speaking countries, French is used at school, it's used in offices, it's used in government, it's used everywhere. You rarely hear them using their own languages. Now, these three countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, say, we're going to promote our own languages. We're going to use it in the radio, in the television. We're going to push it forward. Congratulations on that. Well. These three countries announced in January their departure from ECOWAS. So, what is ECOWAS? ECOWAS is these are West African countries that cooperate economically and politically, and now militarily. Now, ECOWAS was not very friendly with these three countries when they wanted to free themselves. So, the three countries felt like ECOWAS was being guided by France. Obviously, ECOWAS doesn't sponsor itself. ECOWAS and many African organizations get sponsored by Europeans. Therefore, whoever pays you the money most likely control your thought. So these three countries say, you know what? We don't want anything to do with you. How did they get to that? They got to that point when Niger freed itself. After Niger freed itself, ECOWAS was ready to attack Niger, send soldiers and go fight Niger. Why fight Niger? Because they wanted the previous president, Mohamed Bazoum, who worked for the French or with the French or whatever. After ECOWAS threatened to attack Niger,
they are ready to go anytime the order is given. The D-Day is also decided, which we are not going to disclose. There will be no more meetings of the chiefs of defense staff. If there will be, it will be probably in the course of the operation if there is a need to adjust the operation.
The other two countries say attacking Niger will be a declaration of war against all of us. That is when they part away. So ECOWAS blocked their borders, refusing them exit. Then early in February, ECOWAS decided to open the border. But these three countries say, nope, we're not interested. You can keep your borders, you can keep your lands, we don't want it anymore. You said you think we are stupid, it's fine, let's stay this way. They are joining force to be one confederation, to be stronger as a country. They are putting together their resources, financial, strategic, water, and all that, agriculture, so they can be strong together. They're going to promote their local languages. They're going to speak, you're going to learn. There's a lot of Africans that cannot speak their own languages. Let me just put it that way for you. Shameful. But they are experts in speaking English and French, and they think they've arrived in life. They've ruptured their link with ECOWAS. They're going to be separated now. No more ECOWAS. The president of Niger said, our people have irrevocably turned their back to ECOWAS. That's what they said. So what's going to happen next, fellas? ECOWAS has had the summit just a day after, and they had the discussion about these three countries. Are they going to attack? Are they going to do something about it? Because this happening right now will clearly inspire many other countries that feel like they need to free themselves. And this is not necessarily something ECOWAS want to see. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger are not having it. They're going to move together. They're going to work together. Do you feel like countries in Africa need to be led by soldiers, maybe, in order for Africans to move in a good direction? Let me know your opinion on this. It's going to be a real pleasure to read you. God bless.